Great. Welcome everyone to GENOA's community call. It's June 2026, and today's topic is for the Mini-EDEs. We're just let people come in. There's still some people arriving, and we're recording this call for everyone who can't be here. So thank you for joining, and I'll pass to Kin.
Thank you, Na, and hello everyone. My name is Keen, and you've heard just now from Na. I'm calling from Vietnam, and Na is from Thailand. And together with us, we have Jun from China. We are the three members of the GENOA team who are supporting to make this call happen. And in a little bit, we'll also introduce to you our panelists who will share their experience about holding, organizing and hosting mini-EDEs in their communities and their country. But as a tradition of our network, of not just GENOA, but also the whole Global Eco-Village Network, we would love to start with the moment of attunement so we can really be grounded and be here together. And with that, I'd love to ask Om to lead us in.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the call. Thank you for responding to the call. Let's take a moment together and form our energetic circle where energy can flow, where inspiration can flow. Let's take a moment to sit in your comfortable positions where you feel very stable and very relaxed. That position that make you feel like you are fully here, and this is where you're meant to be, out of the whole universe, here and now in this circle. So let's allow the entire body and the entire presence to ground, to sink, to rest, to be held in the gravity of Mother Earth. And I believe it's that gravity that pulled us all here. In that depth of the gravity of Earth and the immense trust in your own core that brought you here. We rest and sink deep in this gravity, that where we meet each other in spirit. Breathing in, aware of how your body gently rise. Breathing out completely, come aware of how your body, your mind sink and rest in alignment with Earth's gravity. Breathing in deeply, breathing out completely. So the circle is round and complete. Breathing in, let all that rise, fully rise. Breathing out, let all that are fully return to the ground. In spirit of connection, we have met together in this circle of the GENOA community. We trust in this moment of gathering, this moment of sharing, this moment of offering and giving. May inspirations, wisdom flow among us. May the wisdom of earth flow through each one of us. May the power, the great wisdom of Mother Earth strengthen our community. Let's take another deep breathing in, rise, completely breathing out, returning, sinking, grounding, becoming. And another deep breath. And slowly open your eyes as you're breathing out in relaxation. And look around in this circle, in this space. Look at everybody's face. Each one hold a piece of wisdom from their experience engaging in this world. It find in our heart a sense of honor for everybody's presence. And in this circle, let us listening and sharing in that spirit of honoring. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for being here, for choosing to spend your time and energy with us for the next 90 minutes or so. So you are joining a community call from GENOA, the Global Eco-Village Network Oceania and Asia. We hold these calls 2 to 3 times a year, focusing on topics that would be helpful for communities and eco-villages in our region. And for this call, we are honing into organizing or hosting Mini-EDE eco-village design education program in our community. And just also to let you know, we are going to have another offering for the network next month, which is an eco-village talk. We have eco-village talks featuring different eco-villages around the world every other month. And we'll making our way to many different countries in our region, in our big region of Oceania and Asia. And we hope to, welcome you next month as well on 20th of July. We'll also share the link for more information later in the chat. For today, we are gathering here to talk about Mini-EDEs. And I would love to get a sense of how many people in the room have heard of or know or have participated in either a full EDE Eco-Village Design Education, or a mini one. So you can pop that in the chat if you have joined or maybe host some. And for those who are new, the Eco-Village Design Education programs, we often call it EDE for short. It's a program focusing on design for regenerative society and sustainability. And it provides participants of all ages with the knowledge and practical skills to start regenerative communities. And through the EDE, you will have the chance to explore social tools, different worldviews, the equitable economy concepts, and also ecological practices, and talking about building community as well. But usually a full EDE would take at least a month, which is not always affordable to us. So we have Mini-EDEs, which is a lighter, shorter version of the full 1 month. And it still maintains the whole, the 4D, 4-dimension design and the whole system approach of the EDE, but just in a shorter amount of time. And it's great for especially those who are new to these different approach and concepts. So today we have with us 3 amazing members of the network, community builder, Eco-Village founders from different countries, and we will get to hear from them in shortly. So we have Shane from Australia, we have from Thailand, and Hiroko from Japan. I would love, as a start, to invite each of them to just share quickly with you about themselves and how they are connected to the topic of today. So maybe I invite Shane to start. Are you still muted, Shane?
Hi everyone. As Kin said, thanks Kin. I'm here from Australia. I'm tuning in from Bundjalung country. This is Byron Bay in area in New South Wales. It's a beautiful subtropical area of Australia. And I live in a small eco village I co-founded 7 years ago, Balia Buyul, which in the local language means place under the mountain. And I live there with about 24 adults. And I've been involved in the Gen Network now for 15, going on, I don't know how many years. And yeah, I've run, after doing EDE training in Findhorn, I came back to Australia and was very keen. So to sort of, spread this amazing tool, I guess. But here in Australia, it's very hard, of course, to do a long month. It's money, but also time, people's time. And realized very quickly that if I was going to sort of share this, that I'd have to do it quickly. So I've run now about 3 or so Mini-EDEs and some sort of variations of the EDE as well. So about 5 or 6 different kinds of formats of EDE type courses. But yeah, 3 sort of week-long Mini-EDEs and about to do another one. So it's exciting.
Thank you, Shane. Let's hear next from
Hi everyone, I am from Thailand, Gaya Ashram. My experience and involvement with the EDE and Mini-EDE started in 2008 when I did my first EDE at Wongsanit Ashram. I lived there, and after that first EDE, full EDE in Thailand, I had helped the Thai EDE team to run the full EDE once a year at Wongsanit Ashram. So a lot of my early experience about EDE is the full EDE course. until I started Gaya Ashram 2013, 2014. Continue to use the EDE curriculums to design different programs at Gaya Ashram, like different focus, but it has the foundations of the EDE. And then organizing EDE at Wongsit Ashram for several years at the beginning until during COVID pandemic, I realized that a lot of people were interested in our lifestyle at Gaya Ashram during that time. And I thought that it would be good to organize an introductory program for people to experience and to learn more about eco-village lifestyle. So we start doing our first kind of mini-EDE program, not certified by Gaia Education, but it's a 1 week program that is the design based on the full EDE to give people the introductions. So we've been doing that, I think, since 2021, several courses a year. And only recently, only this year, we start certified our program with Gaia Educations. So now I observe that this year I see more interest from organizers, from learning centers to organize the Mini-EDE. So I had a chance to present or to facilitate the Mini-EDEs at Gaya Ashram and also outside of Thailand with other organizers, and learn how to apply it, how to adapt the curriculum to different groups, to different focus. Recently we did in China, and the next one, and we just did one in Gaya also. And the next one we will do it in Taiwan. It will be the first one in Taiwan. So yeah, that's my experience pretty much with involving circulating around EDE and EDE adapted versions in different format.
Thank you, and now we'll go to our last but not least, our third panelist, Hiroko, who is from Japan and is also stewarding GEN, the Global Eco-Village Network in Japan as well. So I invite you, Hiroko. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you for you inviting me here. And so I'm a member of as one community where is a kind of urban urban eco-villages. Then I have held the Mini-EDE. I have held the normal 4 weeks EDE for the first time and since 2017. But so after the COVID, I restarted Mini-EDE with another very close eco-villages co-created together. Then, so for Japanese people, this time is these times are very difficult to focus on their own studying about the new way of living, because of economic situation is very hard for a lot of people. Then they need to stay on the former normal living and study to, of course, another way or the alternative way they want to live. So then if I can share with you such very interesting situation. But so anyway, using the alternative way to hold the mini-EDE. So I'm very happy to be here together. Thank you.
Thank you, Hiroko, and Shane. So for the next section, we would love you to have a chance to meet some of the other community members here in the room. So we will put you into smaller groups and you can introduce yourself and your involvement with GENOA. If you're in a situation where you don't want to go into a smaller group or you cannot speak, please can you either raise your hand or type in the chat and then we will make arrangements for this. But it's okay if you can't speak and you can just listen as well. So we'll invite you into smaller groups in a second. And the questions I ask you to consider is, why have you attended this program, like this course today? Why are you here? Or do you have any questions about mini-EDEs that we can try to answer in today's call? So, okay. So if anyone, is anyone not wanting to go into a small group? I hope you can make yourself known. And if not, we'll see you in about, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so those two. So hopefully you're not in the same room, but let's put everyone else into rooms and then we'll see you. You've got about 8 minutes to talk between each other and there'll be 3 of you or 4 of you in a room. So we'll see you shortly. I think we have everyone now. So how was that? Good? Bad? Average? Good? Okay, good. I would love to ask, for those of you who weren't here, I just said if anyone is from a community, please do share your community in your country in the chat because we will take that out and we will share it afterwards in the follow-up for this call. I would also love to know if you have any questions about mini-EDEs, please also put them in the chat and we shall gather those up and try to answer them during the call. Yeah. So I think we can now move to share from our panelists who have a lot of experience with EDEs and mini-EDEs. And we will ask one at a time to answer some questions and share from their experience why, in your experience compared to the other types of courses, why mini-EDEs? Why do you feel it's important? Who is it important for? Another question, how do you design the mini-EDE? We know there's so much content inside an EDE that you can barely fit it into 4 weeks, let alone 4 days. So for those who don't know, the Eco-Village Design Education has 4 areas of regeneration. They have the cultural, the social, ecological, and economic. So there's 4 dimensions, and roughly we give a day to each. And then there's how to put those together in an integrated in a holistic design. So depending on where you are, if you're doing it in your own community, like I know you've been traveling and going to other communities, how do you adapt it when you're in a different place, a different country? And what do you celebrate the most about doing mini-EDEs? It's a lot of questions, but don't worry, I will remind you as we go through. So yeah, I'd love to invite Shane. Would you like to share on some of these questions, whichever ones are most alive for you?
Okay, so yes, how is it different, a mini-EDE to a full EDE? You're right, there's a lot of information to cram in. So what is most important and what do you leave out? And firstly, it is about where you do it. So the first EDE, mini-EDE I did in a community I was living in, and I tried to involve the community quite a bit in the process. And so I was focused in Australia, for instance, I don't focus so much on the ecology aspects because a lot of people that come to the EDEs here in Australia, or like interested in eco-village design, they usually come from a permaculture background, or it's very strong, sort of more mainstream, the ecology aspects here in Australia. You know, solar panels were invented here and things like that. So for the last 50 years, where most communities here are very, the ecology dimension is very high. So I tend to not focus on that as much and focus on the social and economic aspects. But the ecology I still include as a fun day kind of thing, and but yeah, not get so caught up in that because I also look at the participants. So that's another thing that I do. I see who's coming and what backgrounds they have. But yeah, it's very hard. It really depends. Um, I have of course, I have the week of the 4 dimensions each day, and usually the first day is more sort of a welcoming and introduction to the community we're in. So that's the sort of tours and the things, and getting everyone used to each other, games, kind of that sort of icebreaker day, I guess, and then getting into it. And I usually do the social next. That's something I do because it's like creating group agreements and things we can actually apply that, um, at the start. Um, and I usually, then I go ecology or economic, and then I usually do the worldview at the end as sort of a more sort of macro aspect. Um, so that's the way I kind of format most of the mini-EDs I've done. And yeah, it is really hard to work out what's relevant and not. And yeah, as I said, it depends on the group. And also, I actually invite a lot of my EDs, mini-EDs, I invite guests as well because, of course, I can't do it all myself. So it depends also what guests are available, and who can come along to help teach. And that also influences what kind of I would have. So, I'm very lucky here in Australia. Like, I've got, connections with John Seed and Helena Norberg Hodge and all these amazing people that I can just ask, can you come along? And, so it's like I focus the EDE around some of these amazing elders in the space often as well. Um, so I don't know. I can answer lots of questions. I like getting
Yeah,
questions.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I think one question I would like to ask is how do you adapt it? So if you're in like say you're going to a new place that you don't live there, it's not your community, how do you see a mini EDE in a new place? Or like do you
Yes.
have
Yeah.
advice for someone who's new to hosting them?
Yeah, so I've hosted in a nun community as well. I've hosted it in like a retreat center before. And but the guy wanted to become a community, so but there was a bit of conflict going on. So actually it's really good to go and suss out like just the place first and what's happening, the dynamics there, because it can influence. You don't want people. I mean, the funniest story I've had in the mini EDE is the one I did in this community, the founder of the community decided to use my mini EDE as a launch pad for their new manifesto for the whole community. And he invited the whole community to my session. And it just was this massive storm, basically, and spent the whole rest of the day with my students dealing with what had happened. And so it's really good to suss out if you are going to have a guest as well or something, what their plan is. But also, yeah, the situation in the place you're doing it because it does influence the course, and who's coming in and out and who they'll interact with. And also, yeah, like if they've got beautiful gardens, incorporate them, or if they've got something interesting happening, incorporate that into the practical aspect. So there was a conflict in one of these places, so I actually invited them to bring that conflict in the social dimension and how would we deal with that or something like that. So yeah.
Beautiful, like seeing a living practice, especially around
Mm,
conflict.
mm.
Thank you. And yeah, I'd like to ask would you like to share about your experiences? Anything you celebrate, particularly about the mini EDs and some stories from some of the ones that you've held?
Hmm. Personally, I'm really passionate about the EDE curriculums because it's so holistic. It's involve every aspect of life and make us become very conscious of every details of our life's choice. So when doing Mini-EDE, I like to keep that spirit of like, so I focus a lot on deliver a workshop that get people that sense of holism. Like, so I am less focusing on deliver informations and knowledge, a lot of knowledge, but selecting the piece that is enough to deliver the holistic concept of a design lifestyle for eco for ecologically designed lifestyle.
Like an experience rather than just a mental thinking.
So it take in the design of the workshop, then I use different approach. The experience is one thing, is very important for my design as because something you can't understand through logic, but you can feel it, such a sense of harmony. That is something you could experience through the way of how we provide, how do we provide a learning experience, where people, I think I focus a lot more on if in a short program that people go through the program and then if they come out, then they feel like, oh, that is the sense of eco-village lifestyle. It's like it very holistic, and that people can ask themselves, is it for me or not? Is this something that what I am talking about or what I really want or not? And then I hope that that workshop that lead them to a further study and look more in depth on things. So it's more like trying to uh, deliver the concept of whole system design of eco-village lifestyle and presenting like what is that different aspect of design that we can look at. So then in the design process, I emphasize a lot on the connection between different parts. Like, and then you see that when you do well integrations, it can become a holistic, it can become a harmony. But if we trying to do a lot, many parts, but it lacking of the part of integrations and the connections, it will feel like we're trying to do a lot. But how can we do enough, but you feel the whole kind of. So then selecting the concept, the topics of each dimensions. If I work at Kaya Ashram, we have been doing it many times. So we integrate a lifestyle at Kaya Ashram also. So people really go to Kaya Ashram normal lifestyle, and then after presenting the theoretical part, half a day of each dimension, and then they have the experience, the practical experience in the afternoon, and we're creating a space where they can exchange and share with each other, feel like how this eco-village lifestyle is lived at Gaya Ashram, and then sharing with the participants what's the challenge, how everything that they experience is designed and what is not designed. And but if I work with the other organizers outside of Thailand, I would need to work with them a lot on the. I like to look a lot on what working with the host of what they do, how they live, how is their site there, including a lot of the site and the lifestyle, what they're already doing there, and then trying to work with the organizers to understand the group and then continue to discuss of like what topic would be appropriate. Something it's maybe work, maybe not. So I need to also monitor like checking in the group from time to time and checking with the organizer. Would this be appropriate? Would this be useful with them for them? And every Mini-EDE, so we integrate the practical, and sometimes the practical it doesn't need to be so, I don't emphasize so much that it need to be so technically knowledgeable, but it is more like this is what we do in the lifestyle. You need to clean the toilets, you need to carry stones, you need to clean, you need to even just an hour a day. So then I think experiencing after the process of understanding the principles, and then you come to do those kind of things, and then you could also experience the joy of those small things, and then it's also the real experience. So I often working with if the host already quite there are permaculture learning center or something like that, so we will integrate a lot, take them as part of the organizing, and also looking at like the organizers is how they each organizer that contact maybe have a particular personal interest, such as like I'm curious more about the economy, or I'm curious more about the social, or I want to improve on the ecology. So I hope that when doing it outside of Gaia Ashram, I hope that that this program also help to enhance anything for the site, for the organizers' site. So yeah, I think what I celebrate is that I've experienced mostly recently that it is very possible to do it in 1 week, in 5 day, 6 day, in-depth experiential learning for the EDE.
Thank you, and Hiroko.
Hi.
I would love to hear from you of why you do EDs and your experience.
Why? So it is my delight. So, and then, then sorry, what is my focus on this
It's to
delight?
share some of your experience of
Okay.
how you make an EDE, why you make the Mini-EDE, and what for you is something that's really good about the Mini-EDE.
Okay. Thank you. And so, actually, in Japan, very diverse alternative courses happen in these days. Example, permaculture, and so some new kinds of economic way of so, and then the new networks among us are beginning to emerge with them. So then, in this case, I have the whole dimension, and is in this situation, then I can focus on the very important element. So to put it together, then in face-to-face style, keep learning together. Such permaculture or new economic challenges. So from such courses, I can invite the special guests to share their very important information to people. And then, it's my important point that to have the practical build human relationship among people. So I want to focus on this networking, this relationship building, trustful and meaningful and with love, and then especially keep eco-villages sustainable has some difficulties to this area of its human relationship. among members. So, and then I have to the, very short time, but so I have the such a dialogue-based relationship program, and then focus on inner listening, and then dialogue, and then mutual understanding, and then we start the design, learning from the 4 dimensions. So then celebrate together. Then after that, so after they graduate, in Japan, so the graduates can have their own relationship. Then they start learning together, and then so this is very important, I think. Then some graduates start their eco-village or their own project. Then other participants can support or can learn from their experiences. Then share the difficulties. Then after the graduates, we have online something or such, such meeting about their difficulties or something. Then we can start studying about 4 dimensions. But it's my delight so to have such long relationship after graduates. Then so that atmosphere is called cover this very short time to than full courses. It's my point. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Hiroko. Yeah, it's a very good point that it's not every person who is interested in eco-village lifestyle, so it's very important to meet other friends and to make connections in our local communities. And I think we have some questions in the chat, so Kian, would you like to share any of the questions?
Yes. I just want to bring in some questions that we have in the chat and continue flowing with the sharing of our speakers. We have some questions regarding to the content and the program itself, and some questions regarding to the audience, the participants. So let's start with the program's question. I'm gonna put 2 questions together and you can choose which angle you want to answer. There's a question on, is there a standard curriculum modules, or is always customized based on the community like you have shared before? And secondly, which dimension is the most challenging to deliver in your opinion? So anyone, Shane, Hiroko, whoever feels ready can start.
I actually missed part of the question. Sorry. But if it's about, I guess, the program, maybe just quickly, can you just remind me what the question was again? Sorry.
Yes, 2 parts. First is
Yep.
there a standard curriculum, or
Yeah.
is it
Or you
always
modify it.
adapting to community? And second, which dimension you think is most challenging to
Yes,
deliver?
okay. Yep, cool. So definitely, I'm a person that would definitely modify it depending on the community. I think from my point of view, it's an experiment. Like the thing I love about the EDE is it's an embodied experience. It's participatory learning. It's not sort of, you're there in person. So it's not an online course. It's a touch feel course, and your relationships. And part of that is also what's happening in the space that you're in. So definitely modify it for the course. And that's what I was saying. Like if you, wherever you're doing it, for the ecology aspect, look at what they've got there for the ecology, for the social, what's happening in the space there, because you can use those as examples with the dimensions. So depending on the space, on the community or the space that you're running it, that space might also have a more dimension emphasized. So some community spaces might have a real sort of strong social thing going on. So that's something that might be more emphasized. So the course might be more emphasized around that as a result. So yeah, if you're not aware of the environment and just try to do a strict curriculum, it's not as a embodied learning because it's not reflecting what's happening around. So I would always be encouraging to definitely modify depending on where it's at. And the most challenging here in Australia, I would say the most challenging aspect is probably the economic aspect. Generally, I think maybe it's the most challenging um, because it is something here in Australia the communities lack a lot of awareness of, and there's not many good examples here in Australia as well of communities really embodying that dimension very well. So it's hard to we draw a lot of kind of European or other world communities that are doing it well, but it's very hard to embody it here in Australia because it's something that communities here really struggle with. Um, so I would say that's probably the hardest dimension to teach. Yeah.
Thank you, Shane. And Hiroko, would you like to answer to the questions as well?
Oh, okay. Now the Kavita that gave some short comment in the chat. Then especially youth generation, younger generation, it's very important for us. Then so how do we start planning with younger people? How can we なんていうか invite younger people? What are the attractive aspects from them for them? So this is very important and challenging. So anyway, so then on the other hand, so as Shane said, the economic problem. Then but now, but in this situation, it's still experimental stage. But in Japan, there are lots of challenging such professionals of economic way has started the alternative system. Then Gen Japan network had the opportunities to learn together from those experiment or those なんですかね、challenges but it's difficult to have practical successful なんていうかな、stage. But anyway, we can try. But in such a program, but anyway, the core member good relationship is very important, I think. We have we have the very difficult situation. We need to face such situation. Then at that time, the different opinion, different diverse people, we have keep dialogue, keep exploring together. So it's very important to keep such delightful mind.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Thanks, Hiroko. And you bring in a very important piece I resonate with is also like the team who is holding the EDEs or mini-EDEs. How can they also embody the practice that we are putting into the course, right? How do they work together, overcome conflicts, and understand the basics also of eco-village design? Thank you.
Thank you.
And I see you unmute, so welcome.
Yeah, I will respond about some question, and then I think after that we can pass on, maybe hear from Kavita about the youth program. Yeah, I think personally what is difficult for me as a facilitator to deliver is the ecology, because my brain doesn't remember facts. So then I use a lot of practical, and then using already what we practice on site, and then bringing in more people to support on that part. I mean, I can teach very basic, but when it go into technical, in depth of the ecological knowledge, I think I'm not qualified for that. For a simple practice such as how to make compost, how to this and that, I can. But to ask to give the full understanding or knowledge, just so much knowledge relating to ecology. And yeah, when it comes to that part, I usually call out for more support. And the part that I think it's difficult from the perspective of the participants to actually apply is the social also. I think the worldview people who come to the program, they already start realizing and shifting and realizing their values. So it's kind of the certain level of depth. And when teaching social, for the 1 week programs, I think it is possible to present or to go through the experience of some aspect of it. But mostly it's to the level of, you know, the level of the building community at the first phase. While in the EDE, living together for 4 weeks and 5 weeks, we actually go through the phase of the intensity together. And the participants really learn what it takes to really hold the social dimensions of eco-village lifestyle. In the 1 week course, we present the concepts and we get also experience. Usually it get the sense and it leads to the point of feeling good with each other. But often the EDE reach to the point of what the hell is going on here, which is bringing a lot of good learning. And the participant really learn like what it takes to really go through those phases. And so basically the social dimension is involve more emotions and more divergent and more open space of no judgment. While the ecology, like H2O is water, no one can argue about that. But but in the social, you don't go to the right or wrong. So understanding that concept is easy and nice, but to actually apply that concept, it takes the inner learning, inner strength, inner wisdom. And that part, I think it's possible. It's a long-term learning process. How can we help the participant to see the windows of what we need to learn, what it takes to really make it work in this dimension, and learn some tools, and how can we encourage them to continue to practice? It's like it needs a training, a long life training. So I think from the perspective of a facilitator that offering or delivering the concepts, it's not difficult. But for the participant to get the ideas, they get the ideas in 1 week. And then when they get the real experience of challenges in that dimensions that need some, experiential and wisdom that coming through the experience. So yeah, that's the part that I see. Yeah, and think I haven't worked so much with the youth. Most of the group that I work with is a group of like people who are on the phase of transforming their life. So then I work a lot more of the people in this group at a different age, but not so much with children or the younger kids. Maybe we should hear from Kavita.
Mm, thank you. Yes, this is a great moment for us to open the conversation to those who are in the room and also have a lot of experience with the mini-EDEs and full EDEs. So we have questions in the chat that connects to two different types of target groups. One is indigenous or Aboriginal communities. So the question was raised from Sri is that is there anyone having experience working with traditional Aboriginal communities? And I saw Shane and Kalea shared in the chat, and maybe you want to bring back your sharing here as well. Is it always have to be in intentional community setting? And the second question Hiroko and also touched on is that how about young people? How about children? How can we bring EDE to them? So then I would invite us to now remove the spotlight on our speaker for a little bit, and then let's hear from those in the room who, yeah, want to share their experience. So anyone's would like to, please just feel free to raise your hands and then unmute. Talea? Yeah, so let's hear from Talea and then Kavita.
Kia ora koutou, greetings everyone. My name is Thalia Tade from Aotearoa, New Zealand. And of course I felt the need to answer some of Sri Tosnati's question. I think for me, even though in our small room we had indicated that we in Aotearoa, New Zealand haven't actually put together what we would call a proper EDE, but in my experience, we have co-created alongside some of our permaculture brothers and sisters something of a similar, how can I say, curriculum, which is called the Sustainable Living Course, where participants from all around the world come and they live with us for 12 weeks. And yeah, they do come out of there quite a changed person because they've actually really immerse themselves. They've totally immersed themselves into our way of life. And so some of the experiences, and I guess the organisation and facilitation that I have done in the past is actually ensure that our elders, our leaders, our intergenerational facilitators are ready to take on some of these groups at different times based on the different topics of the day. And, that actually takes a lot of planning before we are hosting these groups. I guess one of the biggest things for me too is exactly what Om said, is people get to see, touch, smell, feel what it is like to live in a traditional village for a period of time. And, some of our participants have actually been, in their own words, honoured enough to also participate in funeral ceremonies. So let me just quickly tell you a little bit about that. When one of our loved ones die, and if we have a course on our ancestral lands, that doesn't matter. That ceremony is still going to go ahead, and the people that are participants and are living on the lands at that time will participate in traditional ceremonies like funerals. And in fact, it's been quite a wonderful experience for some of our participants. So I'm just giving you some examples. These are like real life, way of life. This is what's happening. The whole curriculum's changed. For 3 days, we're going into the ceremony over here. So and it's actually worked out for the best more often than not, because it is an absolute real life experiential learning that our participants have been privileged to be a part of, and actually see the values and the principles of manaakitanga, taking care of our guests, taking care of our loved ones, taking care of the ones whose loved one has passed, in a caring and sacred way. So yeah, that's just a really quick example of what I wanted to provide to you when it comes to traditional communities. Yeah, like Om said as well, it's not so technical, but it's very, how can I say, it interlinks all of the the different dimensions, and so that creates a lot of, I guess, sense making to our participants, and they actually, as I said before, get to touch, feel, smell, and be a part of those types of experiments and experiences. Kia ora, thank you.
Thank you, Thalia. It's very lovely to hear from you. And on the topic of working with Indigenous and traditional Indigenous and Aboriginal communities, we are actually having a working group in the Resilience Project in Gen with people who are working with traditional and Indigenous communities. So we can also share after when the working groups are ready to share their work with you. And I also know that in our GENOA network, there are a lot of people, of groups that are working with traditional Indigenous communities. And Shane and Judy from Australia is an example. And there's also Boniface and Maksud from 2 different NGOs in Bangladesh. They all work with traditional communities and bring their EDE curriculums into the communities to work and kind of blend that curriculum with the experience of working with communities. And we are very happy to make the connection as well if you want to get to know their work and get connected to them to ask more. And I'm
just
also
quickly
suggest you to say just one point, just to connect in the chat as well if there's anyone like Kalea who you want to hear more from after. Yeah, Shane, do you want to
Just
comment?
quickly, Ken, it's a combination of both. The only time kids I've been involved with children in the EDE program is actually in the Indigenous communities. Like that's the only time, because the kids are there and they're part of it. And so yeah, that's what my only answer in terms of the children aspect is that yeah, if you're working with traditional communities, you need to involve the kids. Like that's just the natural thing. And in the Aboriginal communities here, the kids definitely get involved. And we actually, in the Indigenous communities, what we often find is actually the kids have a lot to say, and and it's a really good process through the EDE curriculum for the kids to have a voice in the community, in the traditional communities, about how their village is going to be shaped in the future or things like that. So definitely involve the children if you're doing an EDE in the traditional villages, yes, or in communities. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Shane. I'd like to invite Kavita. I know that you were about to raise your hands earlier.
Thank you, Kim. Yeah, I'm very happy to hear from Shane and his experience with working with younger people. I think I agree that young people need a lot more space, and this was really most of my work in my 20s post university was to get young people in my community and more involved. And I had studied sustainable development in the university context, and I realized, it was not sort of the experience or it was not so easy to digest. So when I had seen the opportunity for something like an EDE, and not being able to afford it, I had a few mentors in our community that suggested that we just organize our own. And they offered us the opportunity to do that by ourselves. And they helped us, of course, at the end to reformat and to get it certified, but they really gave us the freedom to design it ourselves. And we were very young at that time. I remember this was my beginning of joining the Gen network and attending the conferences in Findhorn and Thailand. And I think it's the only network I've come across that invited young people to participate and design from the very beginning. And I think that's the first step. Offer them the platform, and you'll be surprised by how much they have to say, how much they already know, and how much will they have to get involved and create. Yeah, just get creative. So that was really my experience of it, and probably the reason why I'm still doing this work. So the curriculum, there are cards. There are cards for youth. I think Jen has developed some cards. There are cards from Gaia. There's a guidebook. So there are lots of activities, easy, simple to understand. And once the young people engage with designing their own programs and you being there to make it happen with them, for them, they commit because it's theirs, and they might keep doing it. They might be willing to follow up because they really felt engaged from the beginning. So I hope, I hope that gives some sense of hope. The curriculum looks complex at first sight, and like almost saying we get intimidated sometimes by the science or the technicality of it, but it's really not. These introductions, even 1 month doesn't feel like enough. In fact, we're looking now at extending it to a year if possible, because it's never enough time together. And then people realize, 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, this is a lifestyle, and this is a journey that continues. So however long you can create that experience and really engage from the very beginning, then you have a chance for actual follow-up and building community. So yeah, EDE for us is not a program. It's not a one-off. It is actually part of our community building experience. And every year we do it, it's an opportunity to redesign how we live, how we think, how we feel, invite new community members that will live with us sometimes for a lifetime. So yeah, I think it's great that we can work on a shorter format, because this will be valuable at orientation for those who don't have much time but might come back again next year for the longer immersion. But yeah, invite your participants to participate in design. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kavita. And just to follow up, we at GENOA will look for some of the resources that was designed for use and share with you in emails after this call as well. I suspect we're going to have a long email with a lot of resources from our speakers and from Jen. I see Ramphai's hand is up. Ramphai, would you like to share?
Yes, ขอบคุณค่ะ it's just in the aspect of working with the indigenous village. I have worked with the Bagaya people in the northern Thailand, and when I listen to the ED course, I feel like they're already living it, and I feel like every time we bring group there, and I learn so much from them, and those aspects you mentioned, they already apply into it, and I wonder, like, wow, actually the people there, and especially this village called Hinlanai village, they're run by the young people, and the elders are just how you say, the guidance, and it's so powerful that when I learn from them, that's why I think they inspire me to start Panya Forest. And when I met Na and listened to her about Mini-EDE, I feel like, oh yeah, if we have something at Panya Forest to learn about this kind of the design course, to understand the concept, and then we go to the village to see the actual EDE people who live for many centuries. So then you just be there and feel it. Like, we not really need to teach them. Like, you even be there 1 night, 2 nights, you already feel it. Like how intact the culture they do in holistic way that Pion was mentioned. So I just want to share that we do have the, like you mentioned, the indigenous community there that already applying these things and open them up to the the modern world, but not losing themselves there, but still intact. It's pretty wonderful, and I haven't seen any community like that. So just want to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Rampai. And we look forward to your Mini-EDE taking people to Hinlatna as well. I also want to invite Shri from Indonesia to share as well. Shri has shared in the chat her experience working with youth, and I found it really beautiful and would love it to be on record for others to hear.
Thank you. Actually, we already shared those experience working with youth, and I'm the youth myself. When we conduct Eco Village talk, and you can watch that on Gaya Asran YouTube. I forget the channel, but for more details, experience, story, you can watch our Eco Village talk that conduct by and Taukin. So actually, like for working with youth for 9 years, what made me realize that actually what youth need is to be heard, to be listened. You cannot, like, even though that you have your own manual knowledge and wisdom because of you have gained a lot of experiences in life, so you are coming to them and you told them, oh, this is the one that is actually better, or this is the one that's actually good for you because you want to guide you. It cannot be that. When you are working with chat, it means that you have to sit as equal as them because of they have their own potential, interest, knowledge, and wisdom. In Lantan, all those ecotourism package, program, and everything is made not only by me but also with all of the members. We discuss what that we need, and during our program, we ask them what that actually you need, what something that skill or something that actually bother you, not align with you. So we try to listen to them, and then now I'm lucky that even though that there is a challenges and big clash that we face in the early years because of I will tell you honestly, my village is a rural village in which that there is a patriarchy value and think that elder is above the youth. But we face all those backlash and challenging by showing them that we can. And now that even the elder trust us and also like listen to us as well. That's why I can say that what the most important you need to do is to listen to the youths before starting the program, and after that embrace them and see, and also follow what actually trend right now. If you see our social media, it's like using a new song, new trends, or in our TikTok, we use TikTok because what we believe that we cannot differentiate ourselves. Oh, I don't like TikTok. Oh, I don't like YouTube. I don't like social media a lot. But that's how youth gathers. That's how actually you want, if you want to approach them, use what the tool that they often and usually use, and you cannot like just hold on your ideology and value. That's why if you see in Lantan, there are a lot of like there's no specific kind of content. Sometimes it's just like the dancing in the nature, or sometimes it's just like running or everything, because of that's what you do. So like we it doesn't mean that we are against what the old style do, but the thing is, if you want to invite the youth, you have to understand and listen to them. Okay, that's for the complete version. You can watch our Eco Village talk on YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri.
Yeah, thank you, Shri. Yeah, it's you have your own, they have their own culture, and we need to bring it in and make space for new generations. We won't understand them, but we're not meant to understand them because they evolved past us. That's the whole point, right? So thank you, everybody. It's been a really rich sharing, and I love the diversity and the enthusiasm. I think we can all feel like the enthusiasm that's coming through the screen at us today. I would love to, in the last couple of minutes, invite our speakers to share a little bit. If you have any upcoming Mini-EDEs or other events, please can you let us know, unmute yourselves and share. Anyone in the community, if you have any events coming up, please put it in the chat and we will put it in the follow-up and share with everybody. So Shane, do you have anything coming up you'd like to share with everyone?
Well, yes, we actually have a Mini-EDE coming up in September here in Australia, and it's going to be the first Mini-EDE run at my community, so it's exciting. And it's great because I can, include the kids and things like that because it's my own community, so I can kind of shape the Mini-EDE around our community a lot more than going somewhere else. So yeah, and we're one of the things I also introduce in Australia is like working with the indigenous people. Like it's something that we, need to respect and understand. So that's, part of the curriculum we include. And yeah, so it'll be Trudy and I hosting it, and it's the first one I've run that's certified actually. So I'm glad we certified it. And yeah, so if you know anyone in Australia that was really keen to do an EDE, yeah, there's one in September.
Thank you. And we will share this in the follow-up. We will also share it on our website. We hold different events from different places. So Hiroko, what's coming up for you? What courses are you offering soon? Oh, you're muted, Hiroko. Hi there.
All right. From coming September, and I had 3 months, three nights and 4 days, the 3 sets, and such styles I will have. So, and then very sorry, it's very only Japanese, but so today I get the dream, have an international course with you in Japan, so, and with children, so, okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Hiroko.
Hi.
And could you share anything that's coming up in the future for you for Mini-EDEs or any inspiration you may have received from today?
You're muted on.
Yeah.
Right. There's a Mini-EDE on early September for 7 days, and then early November for 7 days. And we have the full EDE course for 32 days, January 10th next year to 10th February. Yeah, so that's hopefully like we have enough participants for the full EDE. It's giving really intense learning experience, which I really like intensity.
Thank you, and yeah, we'll ask anyone else to share and we will put it in the follow-up. So that's pretty much it from me. Kin, should we share about our upcoming talks? We have the 2. Yeah, please share.
Yes. So we also mentioned this at the beginning. We'll host Eco-Village talks every other month. Each talk will feature the story of one community and share. We focus on what is alive and vibrant and what's the strength of the community. We'll also share this in the email afterwards. You can watch and read the articles of the previous community Eco-Village calls. And the upcoming one will be in July 20th with Kui Fengshan Eco-Village in China, where they really apply the learning from Tao Te Ching into every aspect of their lives. And we'll, after China, we're gonna continue exploring communities in other countries, and we would love to, at one point, invite communities where Shane is and Hiroko is into our Eco-Village talk as well. Yeah. Am I missing anything? There are many events coming up, and we will be sharing about them in the follow-up email. And thanks Kavita for putting in the chat. We do have a small Eco-Village gathering happening in Bali in August at the Kavita's community. So we'll also be sharing the link in the chat and in the email later. I wonder also if if you are new to Mini-EDEs and EDEs, we will put more information about them in the email follow-up for you to read more about it. And in order to become EDE facilitator, like certified facilitator by Gaia Education, you need to take a full 1 month EDE. You need to go through the training of trainers, which there's gonna be one in Thailand this September. Petra also put it in the chat. And you also need to dive in at least one of the 4 dimensions with the full online course offered by Gaia Education. So this is a really exciting journey to embark on and to share with each other. I heard a question from Talea in our group chat at the beginning on how we can stay connected with, like, you know, the people who are EDE organizers and facilitators. So maybe we can fetch your interest now. If you are interested in maybe having a group chat, we can, as GENOA, we're happy to facilitate it to happen so that you can be connected and learn from each other. So maybe if you are happy to have a group chat, you can do like a thumbs up, either your actual hands or your electrical hands, and then we'll create a group and send through emails after. Yeah, I do see a few hands. Okay, super. Thank you. All right. So that would be it. I'll invite our panelists to just open your mic and say goodbye. Invite everyone to, if you can, come on screen and say goodbye. And thank you, Shane. Thank you, Om. Thank you, Hiroko, for your wonderful sharing today. Thanks for all the other voices as well.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Daddy, I'm very happy to see
Yeah.
here now.